I always believed that betrayal was something I would never allow myself. I had rules. I had promises. I had a marriage that, on paper, looked strong. But Paris does not respect the rules. Paris awakens what you thought you had locked away forever. I arrived here for work, nothing more. A project, a conference, a week of deadlines. My husband stayed home, sending me polite messages. Don't forget your umbrella. Good luck with your meeting. I answered with the same politeness. Safe. Predictable. Our marriage was like an old house. Solid walls, but cold rooms. And then, there was him. A colleague. We'd worked together for months online, but meeting him in person felt like opening a window after years of stale air. He laughed at things no one else noticed. He looked at me like I wasn't invisible. It scared me, because I wanted him to keep looking. The first evening, we stayed late at the office, fixing slides for a client. When the clock struck midnight, he suggested a walk. Paris at night was gold and silver, wet streets shining like secrets. We walked and talked, and for the first time in years, I laughed, without weighing every word. He showed me a cafe he loved, hidden in a narrow alley. I should have said no, but I followed him inside. The coffee was strong, the silence between us stronger. His hand brushed mine when he passed me the sugar. My heart raced ridiculous. I told myself. I was married, but my heart didn't care. The days blurred. Work in the morning, deadlines in the afternoon, Paris in the evening. Every streetlight felt like a conspirator. Every glance carried more than it should. He told me about his life, his failed relationship, his belief that love should never be negotiated. I told him less. I hid behind duty, behind the word married. But he saw through me. One night, on a bridge over the Seine, he said quietly, "You deserve a love that doesn't need excuses." And I froze, because he was right. I hadn't felt alive in years, and here, in this forbidden closeness, I remembered who I was, not just a wife, not just a professional, but a woman with a heartbeat that refused to be silenced. Still, I told myself it was wrong. I told him, "We can't, this is not who I am." He smiled a sad, wounded smile, and stepped back. The distance between us was only a meter, but it felt like 1,000 miles. I watched him leave, his figure swallowed by the Paris night, and my chest ached, with something worse than guilt, loss. That night in my hotel room, I cried quietly into the pillow, not because I had betrayed my husband. I hadn't touched another man. But my heart had already crossed the line, and betrayal of the heart is louder than any kiss. The next morning, I couldn't look at him in the office. His voice was calm, professional, but his eyes carried the memory of what we hadn't done. Every word we didn't say was heavier than words we could have spoken. By the end of the week, I had to choose. My train ticket home sat on the desk like a test. I could tear it, run to him, surrender to the fire that made me feel alive again. Or I could go back, to the man who had once held my heart, to the life that was steady but silent. In the quiet of my room, I wrote a message to my husband. "We need to talk. We need to find us again." My hands shook. My tears blurred the screen. It wasn't a confession. It was a cry for help. Not for me, for us. I didn't run to my colleague. I didn't give myself the ending my heart begged for. Instead, I walked to the station at dawn, the sky pale over Paris. The city looked different then, less seductive, more honest. And as the train carried me away, I whispered the truth only to myself. I lost him, and yet, I found myself. Paris had shown me that love cannot always be tamed. It burns, it hurts, it teaches. It doesn't always stay, but it always reveals who you are. This was my story. If you believe in the power of love, even when it breaks us, stay with me. Another story is waiting.